Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Skip Mason,
pastor, preacher, historian, author,
teacher, librarian, archivist, world traveler,
collector, family historian, avid reader, and creator of the popular Vanishing Black Atlanta Facebook page.
with a lot of folks who love history.
Most importantly,
he's our
dad who loves his family and who taught us the importance of our history and having important conversations.
Join him now for this episode of Conversations with Dr. Skip.
Well, good evening. This is Skip Mason welcoming you to a Nightcap Conversation with the first love of my life. I say that every time I see her. Bernadette Stanis, forever etched in our hearts as Thelma from Good Times. But before I bring her up, I think we need to hear something, and I do not own the rights to this music. Well, ain't we lucky we got her? My brothers and my sisters, let me welcome to a nightcap conversation the one and only Bernadette Stanis. Hey, Bernadette.
Hi, Skip. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great.
You look wonderful, hon, as always.
Thank you.
Or 9 o'clock. This is just how you look at 9 o'clock in the evening, huh?
Right.
But before we continue, brothers and sisters, let me ask you to do a couple of things. Let me ask you to host a watch party and share this conversation with your friends and family and other pages as we have this wonderful and iconic superstar with us this evening. Bernadette, first of all, I'm so glad. And can you hear me okay?
Excellent.
Okay, good,
Excellent.
good.
Perfect.
Good. I'm so glad to have you with us. And I just thought that in the midst of all that was going on, let me try something. I'm hearing a little choppy sound. Let me try my other mic. Hold on just a second.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me back? Okay. Very good.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to have this conversation, spend a little time with you, catch up with you, and to see how you're doing. How have you been doing during COVID-19 and all that's going on, Bernadette?
I've been doing very well. I've been staying at home. I've been home for 3 months. Um, I went to the store now these days since it's going down a little bit, but I'm all covered up and I put the gloves on and I put the hat on and I wear the thing with the hood on. Oh, I'm all messed up. I don't look like me. They don't even know it's.
They don't even know it's you, huh?
Oh no, oh
No.
no. But I just have to get out every once in a while.
Yeah, you do. You do. You really do.
I just went to the store, run in and run out.
How's Kevin and the girls doing?
Everyone's fine.
Good, good.
Everyone's fine.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I can't. Every day I text them. Every day I text them. COVID is still out there. Cover up. Don't get lax. Don't get like okay.
Yeah, you got
Cover
to
up.
be.
Wear those gloves.
That's right. That's right. You have to be very careful,
You
And as I
do.
look at all of the marchers and the protesters, I'm praying that they'll be safe.
I believe they will be. I see a lot of them covered up. You know, they're not talking without their masks, so that's a good thing. But so many people out there. I just hope that everyone stays protected. I'm praying for them. I'm praying for all of them because they're really, really fighting for a cause. And it's
Yes,
for a
yes,
very,
indeed.
very good cause. And I pray, for our black children. I pray for the white children. And what's so beautiful about it is that seeing that all colors, everybody is participating in this revolution.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing time for our world, for our
Yes.
young people, and we pray that out of such a tragic situation, that something good will come from this. And I truly believe that. What about you?
Oh, it has to. It
Yeah.
has to. I mean, to see that man's life snuffed out of it, see his life just snuffed out of himself, just in front of everybody. I mean, how many times in life do you really get a chance to see somebody, their life just go right in front of your eyes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the way it was
And the way
done,
it was done. Yeah.
it
It.
was so sad. I couldn't even, I mean, every time I look at it, I keep thinking, how you squeeze a balloon? You squeeze a balloon and it might pop. That's what it felt like his head was
Yeah.
gonna pop off.
Oh my
And it
goodness.
was
Yeah.
such a disgusting thing. I couldn't even look at it. And even when that little man the little 70-year-old man got
Th-
thrown down and when
Yeah.
he
They
hit his
put.
head, I
Yeah.
couldn't watch that either. It was just a lot going on, and and the protesters, I just want to say thank you to the protesters because they handled everything so beautifully. I mean, it was so peaceful
Yeah.
that and it just was a beautiful thing to see. I
It
was
was.
praying for them with the COVID though, but
Yeah. Me
they
too.
this was something that they had to do. The
Yeah.
whole
I
world,
agree. I agree. It.
the
And
whole world.
spiritually, the COVID shut us down, and brought us to our knees, and now this. And so, in the faith.
I think it was done. It's interesting how it was done to me.
Right. Right.
I think that I said this in another show, but I want to say it again. I believe that the way it was shut down, the way we all were shut down, it didn't matter who had the money and who didn't have the money.
Right.
COVID was getting everybody.
What you talking about? Yeah.
So it made it
Absolutely.
to me, it like leveled everything out for a second. People with so much money who never understood what it was like to not have money had a feeling of that. They learned, oh my God, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to buy my food? And I've
Yeah.
got my children stuck under me all day because I don't have money for daycare. But you have the money, but you got to be stuck with your kids anyway. But
That's
I'm just
right.
saying, everybody got put on the same playing field.
Yeah. They did. They did. And t-
That's
uh,
how I think they got the feeling of that feeling of we're all one, you
and
know.
and and
And look where our
parents.
country is.
That's true. That's so true. Parents having to teach their children. Uh,
Right.
I know you're glad your children were adults at this time.
Yes, I was. But guess what? I had my granddaughter for 3 months. She was
Oh,
something else. She's 5.
she's
And
5.
she's 5. And I mean, she's such a energetic child. You know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying?
good.
So I'm like,
Wow.
oh boy. I said, time out. Come on, give honey a little time out. I need
Yeah.
honey. She calls me honey.
She calls you honey. And honey
Uh-huh.
needed time out, huh? You needed some time.
Uh-huh. She's my honeycomb and she calls me honey. And
Oh,
so I
that's
need a
sweet.
time out. But she was so wonderful, delightful. And it was interesting because I work a lot. I'm very busy. So to have that time, just she and I and her granddad, just home
I
together, just the
know.
three of us. It
Yeah.
was just a wonderful thing that I'm sure we'll never probably have that like that again.
Not like that again.
No.
Yeah. Well, you are, I'm sure, a wonderful grandmother, an awesome mother, and
Thank you.
I know of the very special bond that you had with your mother, your parents. Tell us about your parents. Let me put this picture up. Tell us about your parents, Bernadette.
Oh, look at my mommy, daddy. Um, well, my parents were something else. They were from two separate sides of the globe. My
Okay.
daddy was my daddy was born in Brooklyn, but he was raised in the West Indies. My grandparents were from Grenada, Carriacou. And so they were, from the West Indies. And now mommy was born in Jeanneret, Louisiana.
Okay.
So she's Creole. So
Oh,
I'm
she's a
saying,
Creole girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the two of them, and so, but they had a wonderful, they had the same vision
Yeah.
in life for their children, and the morals and the respect of the daddy, and respect the mommy. Because I
Yeah.
remember when we were little, we would ask daddy something, and he said, "You have to go ask your mother. What did your mother say?" I don't care what it was.
You had to
I
ask
don't
your
care
mama.
if it was going across the street. He said, "What did your mother say?" I'm
Right.
like, "All right, mom, we gotta ask you first." What mommy had to say.
Mommy had to say. Now,
Mama had to say, and he
these
gave that respect to her.
these are some of your
Oh
siblings.
look at my siblings.
Yes. Tell us about your siblings, Bernadette.
Oh, I just love those kids so much. I'm the eldest, but
Oh,
the one in the middle is now a pastor.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, he's a pastor, and I'm telling you, he was like the pretty boy. Let me tell you something. When he said he was gonna be a pastor, we all looked at him like, "What? Not you?" He said, "Yep, me." And then the one on the end, he is also a director and actor. He is so talented.
Oh
He
wow.
has visions. They used to have like a workshop, and he
Okay.
would bring all the talent and all that. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And Debbie is on the other side of me, at the end over here on this side,
Okay.
with the gold dress on.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a paralegal. She's into that, the law thing. She's a spark in our family. She keeps things going. And the baby right there, which is Yolanda, she is amazing. Of course, she's Dr. Yolanda now. She's a
Oh wow.
superintendent
Okay.
of education. And my brother in the middle is doctor too, a doctor of
Wow.
education. Yeah, so they did well.
They
They
did
did well.
well.
I'm very proud of all of them.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure. Let
Yeah.
me put this picture up because for me, this just captures the moment that you entered into our hearts. You know, I tell people I'm the host, I'm the engineer, and the producer at the same time, and
I think that's a wonderful thing to be able to do,
I know it. I tell you,
isn't it?
I've learned some skills during COVID-19. But tell us
I
about
know.
Bernadette. Tell us about this young girl here. What was going on in
Oh,
her mind and in her life at the time?
oh my goodness. I think I had just landed the character. I don't know if it was just before or maybe I just landed it. It was a new world, a
Oh,
whole new world for me. I had no one ahead of me playing a teenager. There was none. I was the first one.
yeah,
So I had to draw on my own experiences. So I actually made Thelma very much like myself
right.
in the way I was raised in the projects in Brownsville. And so that's where she came from. But um, that young girl was a strong girl, but she was naive in a lot of ways, but
Okay.
she was smart. You know what I
Oh,
mean? She
yeah.
wasn't, you know. It, so I was a very obedient girl. Like when my parents would tell me, "I don't want that. I don't want that. I want this. I want that." I had to make them proud because I knew what my parents had gone through to get all of their children where they
Right.
are, and
Right.
I never wanted to be the one to disappoint them. Not
Yeah.
me.
Not you.
In fact, Skip, let me share this with you.
What?
When I was about 10, 11, maybe, my dad sat me down and he said, "Bernadette, I have 5 children.
Okay.
You being the oldest, and I want to tell you something. You have a responsibility." I said, "Yeah." He said, "If you go wrong, every one of my children will go wrong."
Wow. He said that to you?
He said that to me. He said, "If you go wrong, every one of my children will go wrong." I said, "They will?" He said, "They will." He said, "You're the leader and you must not go wrong." And I guess
Wow.
I really believe that. It's true. I'm not going to go wrong. So I wanted to
Yeah.
be a role model for them.
That was a lot of pressure though to put
Oh,
on you.
yeah.
But I
Yes, he
guess
did.
it I
He
guess
put
it
it right on me.
he did,
That
I'm
king.
sure. I guess it
Yes.
drove you I guess it drove you too to do. Now you were a dancer. I
Oh
many
yes.
people may not know, and every now and then you did a little dancing on Good Times, but let folks know you were really a trained professional dancer prior to
Oh
going on.
yes. I trained ever since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And my grandmother put me in a tap class. I remember that day she brought me up there, and it was downtown Brooklyn. She brought me up there, and she signed me up for tap and ballet.
Okay.
And then she brought me back to mommy, and she said, Eula, I put her in dance. I signed her up. I'm gonna get her dance clothes and everything. But I want you to keep her in dance forever. I want you to keep her in dance. And it was not 1 week that I missed dance.
Wow.
I was always in dance class. So she
Wow.
made that promise to her mother.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at
They
this
used to
beauty.
call me when I was a little girl. They used to call me. There was a Spanish guy across the street from where my grandmother lived, and he used to call me, "Look at that dancing gal."
Wow. So tell us about how you got the role of Thelma.
Well, I got the role by being in a beauty pageant. I was
Okay.
in a beauty pageant, Miss Black America, teenage Miss Black America, and I was in that beauty pageant, a pageant which I begged my mother to put me in. Okay,
Okay.
and she asked me 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You sure? You sure you want to do this? You sure? Yes,
Right.
I want to do it. I want to do it. I
Right.
want to. So of course, we did that for like the whole summer, 10 weeks, 8 weeks. And the day of the show, I was just like so scared, and I didn't want to go, and I gave my mother a hard time. And my mother wasn't taking no mess off of me. She said, "You better get dressed and let's go." So I was so scared, So I went and everything. My mother wasn't playing with me, so I did my thing, and it's amazing. Sometimes you have to push your children a little bit,
Sure you
because
do.
I was really trying to find every excuse not to go. And she says,
Right.
"Oh, you're going." And so I give her a lot of credit for that. She wasn't taking on that mess for me. And I went up on that stage that day. And it really was that day that a manager came over to my mom and said that there's a television series coming out, and it looks like your daughter could be, a good, take her for the audition because she looks
Hmm.
like she could play that role. And so mommy took me up to CBS, I think a couple of days later. And when we walked in there were so many girls.
Oh my goodness.
I got so disappointed. I didn't understand. That was my first audition. So I really
Okay.
didn't, I mean, that kind of audition.
Right.
Um, so I'm like, what is all this? Okay, whatever. So I did my little part, and they called me back. And then I didn't hear from them for a month. They called me back, and they wanted us to go to California. And by this time, they had narrowed it down to 4 girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the
Wow.
4 of us were battling it out, and
Yeah.
then I went back to California. I mean, to New York, and I didn't hear anything about it. So I figured, well, okay, fine. I
Right.
didn't know how the process went.
Sure.
And
Sure.
no, so then it was a little before Christmas, maybe around my birthday, and they called my mother and told my mother I was Thelma.
Isn't that something? And your life changed forever.
Forever,
Forever. So
forever.
you had to move to Hollywood.
Yeah,
Okay. And
and
did your mom go out with who? Did your mom go out with you?
yes, she did. She
Okay.
absolutely did. And I got
Wow.
settled, and of course, back and forth because she had, the other children and all. And
Yeah.
Esther was like my Hollywood mom.
Yeah. I know
I
you.
really was trying. I basically I was trying to move in with her.
Were you really?
I was at her house every day, every single day. And she
Every
would
day.
say, "Can you?" She said, "Can you go home?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to stay here with you. What are you cooking?" I literally forced myself on that woman. You see that picture right there?
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely
And she
love
said
it.
to me that I was her daughter. I was the daughter she never had. She said it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all had a really, really close
Yes,
bond.
we did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did. She told me a lot of the ropes in the game. She
Yeah.
told me all the tricks.
And,
She
and I
told me
love
what can happen, what shouldn't happen.
and I love the story that you've shared with me and others many times of how she really fought for you to get more lines in the show.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tell
she really
tell
did.
tell the folks about that who may not know. that and when you started out, I think you said you had a few lines, and then she went to bat for you, and then it increased.
Well, yeah. I was at her house just like I was doing the lines there,
Yeah.
and I one this one week looked like I had less lines than I've ever had. I
Okay.
think I can't. I had maybe 5 lines, and I said, I come out, hi mom, hi dad, shut up JJ, and I'm back in the bathroom.
Mm.
So I was this week. I was really bored. I never felt bored. I felt bored. So I
Right.
said to mom, I said, mom, and I knew in my spirit I did not want to be doing this for the next 5 years, just sitting around here.
Yeah.
So I said, Mom, it is boring. I'm not doing anything. And she said, What do you mean? I said, I need some lines. Because I can do this. I can do more lines. And Esther looked at me and said, mm-hmm. She said, she said, really? I said, yes, I can. And so she said, all right, okay. Like, I'm going to challenge you to this. She said, but let me handle it. So I said, oh, I was so glad. Yes, please, him. And so that next day, the next week when we had the reading, she sat down, we read. I had a few lines like
Okay.
normal. And
Yeah.
when we read with the whole cast for the next show, we have the writers, producers, directors, everybody's reading together.
Yeah.
So at the end of the read, she said to me, she said to them, let me ask you a question. So, so they said, sure, Esther, go ask, what is the question? She's the star.
Right.
And
Right.
so, things go when she, you know. So then she said, I want to ask you a question about my daughter. And they said, okay. She said, are you ashamed of my daughter? They all looked at each other like,
Hmm.
no, we're not ashamed of her. Then she, goes on to add on and says, I mean, is she retarded or something? I'm like, why would you say that? And so then they start laughing. No, no, she's not retarded. She said, okay, my son JJ has a lot to say. My son Michael has a lot to say. I want my daughter to have a voice also.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they said, certainly, Esther. So then they said, come on up to the office and tell us who she is. Because they really did not know what a teenage female in the ghetto would be like.
Right.
So that it was really difficult for them to write
To
her.
write it.
And
Yeah.
the things that they were trying to write didn't fit my character.
Right.
And,
Right.
so Esther said, you go up there and you tell them who Thelma is.
Yeah. Well, after all you said, and you were the first black teenage girl sister, on network
Yes.
television,
Yes.
and they didn't. And how was that? When you always sit around the table for your table read, were there ever times, Bernadette, when you all would read something and say, "My God, what in the world? What in
Oh,
the
yes.
world?"
Is that? Well,
Yeah.
we would do that, and then we would make our little notes as we were reading,
Okay.
and then we would suggest that they look at it this way. How about
Yeah.
rewriting it this way? I don't think the character would quite say that. She's not going in that direction. Or, JJ would say, what he would have to say. And then, so that's how we did it. We all voiced our opinions. And then what they would do is take the draft, take all those, go back up and retype it, and then we would leave to go home, say about 1 o'clock that Friday. It was always on
Okay.
Friday, and then
Okay.
they would bring us a new script. They would deliver new scripts to us that Friday night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you all did your record. When did you film? What on a
Well, we would do the reading on Friday. We would get the scripts on Friday afternoon, Friday like 1 or 2 o'clock. We'd go home, and then we'd study the script over the weekend. Then Monday we would come back and we would block the show, with the
yeah.
script in our hand, but the
With,
director would now tell us where to go, what to do, and we would block it.
right.
Now, after that, we'd have a run through with the script in our hands just to make sure we had our blocking down. And then Tuesday, our obligation was be off script,
Okay.
and then we block, rehearse until about 4:30. Then the producers, the writers, and everybody, wardrobe, everybody would come down in the rehearsal hall, and we would do the show for them.
Okay.
And then they would see what's working on his feet, what wasn't working,
Right.
what the laughter, was the laugh right, was it wrong, should we save it? So it was still a work in progress. So then
Okay.
after that, we take our notes. And
Wow.
then we'll scratch certain things, add certain things, do it like that, clean it up, speed it up, say it this way, and then that night, which was Tuesday night, they would deliver a new script to us. We would study
Okay.
that. Then we would go downstairs to where the script, where the stage was, and the
Yeah.
set was built by Wednesday. And
Yeah.
then we would block the show again with the new lines and everything. But we would do it for the cameraman
Okay.
and for the mic man.
That's a
So
lot of
he had,
work.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
And so
lot of work.
we had
Y-
to. That was a long day. So we
Yeah.
had to do that over and over until the cameraman and the boom guys got us in. You know, I got that shot. You got that shot. We got shot 3, 4, 5, 1, whatever. And
Yeah.
once that was all set, we would do a run through for the producers again.
Okay.
This time in wardrobe.
Okay.
This time in wardrobe, and we would see what the wardrobes looks like, and they would see if their lines are working, see if the lighting is well, see if
Yeah.
the camera angles are well, and see if
Right.
the mic is right. So that was that full thing. Then go home, and then Thursday we would come in late. We would come in, say, about 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then we would do a little run through, get our makeup, get our hair, get everything, outfit, get it all together, run lines. It was a totally different day because at 5:30 we had to do our show.
Oh wow.
We had to do the show with 250 people in the audience
Before a live audience.
before a live audience.
Wow.
All right, and then after that show was over, we'd go have dinner. They'd have dinner for us, and then we come back at 8:30 and do another show with 250 more people, different
The same,
people,
a different show or
different
the same?
different show, different people.
What?
Well, the same show, different people.
Okay. Okay.
See, we
Oh,
would do the same show twice in the
twice.
night.
Okay. I
And the
got you.
reason why they did the same show twice is because the editor would take the show on Friday, the show that we did, and they would go to the editing and they would splice it. Whatever we got good from the first show,
Yeah.
they keep that. Whatever we got good from the second show, they put that together. So it still looked like one show, but it was
I got.
actually two shows merged together.
Wow. What a process. What a process. So, everybody, if you're just joining, I'm with the lovely Bernadette Stanis, and we are just going back down memory lane and talking about her marvelous career. And she's just giving us a little bit of the inside of good time. And what I want you to do is to post your favorite episode because everybody has a favorite episode of Good Times. Y'all want to know what my favorite episode is?
Yes.
That was my favorite episode. The rent party.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness. That thing was first of all, I love the Supremes and have been a Supremes lover for years and got a chance to know Mary Wilson and
Oh,
hoping to try
that's nice.
to get Mary on the show as well. But that episode from top to bottom was one of my favorites, and I love your rendition of "Stop in the Name of Love," and then the show ended. The rent party ended with James and Wanda dancing on the floor, and
We have fun. We really
y'all
do
had
have
fun.
fun.
I tell
Yeah,
you,
we do.
that's Helen Martin, right? Is that her
Yes,
name?
yes, that's Helen Martin.
Yeah, yeah, Weeping Wanda, as they called her. I think that's what she was called
Yeah,
on
she
it.
used to cry at all the funerals.
Yeah, she cried at all of the funerals.
She didn't even
But
know who the funeral was. She just
I know
was
she did.
there to cry.
Well, you had some wonderful people, some wonderful cast members, and the show went through its growing challenges and pains, and we know that John Amos, left the show or whatever, and then Florida and you and JJ and Michael. It seemed like your roles increased tremendously.
Yeah.
Willona, your good friend Janae Dubois, who died recently, and you posted some wonderful thoughts and remembrances about Janae, and you told me one time, and I got so tickled that all Janae was worried about was what she was gonna wear on the show and her interests. And somebody pulled together a marvelous clip.
They
I
did.
know you saw it.
I saw it was so nice. It really, really was.
everybody, every time she walked into you all's apartment. But tell us about your relationship with her and what you remember
It
about her.
was really like an aunt. She was a lovely lady. She was giving. She would always, she always said that myself and Ralph were like her kids.
Hmm.
But she was more like an aunt to us, and
Yeah.
I used to love the way she would do her makeup. She would do her own little stuff. She'd always do her own makeup, and then it taught me something about the business because she did do her makeup first, and then
Okay.
the makeup artist would come in and touch her up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, she did her own because she knew what she liked, and at that time, I think they had more like they didn't have like a lot of black artists,
Makeup
like makeup
artist.
artists and hair
Yeah.
people. So I guess she knew, how to do her own stuff and have them do the touch up. But then we
Yeah.
got some really good ones in there after that, though. We
Wow.
really did. We had some
Wow.
very good. We had Jim Cale. He was a wonderful makeup artist. I must say that. Yeah. And then
That
we had Billy who did the hair. And let me see, who else did we have? We had a few good ones come in. And
that's
we had Adela Farmer.
uh-huh.
Her grandson played for the Lakers. It's really
Oh,
funny.
really? Okay.
Yes, yes, Mr. Farmer. What's his name? You got his name? Yeah, he played for the Lakers.
He played for
And
the Lakers. Okay.
yes, her grandson, and she was the wardrobe mistress on Good Times.
Oh, wow.
So all those beautiful outfits, she put it together.
She put it together for you
Oh
all.
yeah, I loved her because she helped me with my outfits.
Yeah.
I used to like my clothes tight because being a dancer,
Yeah.
I couldn't wear those baggy clothes. I just didn't feel like myself in those things. So I said to her, I said, Adela, I can't wear these baggy clothes. I can't do it. So she said, well, I'll help you. I'll fix it. And
Okay.
what she would do is buy the clothes and sew them down. Like she would buy them bigger, I guess, so that she could take them in more. I don't know. But she would
Wow.
sew those pants on me and then make them big at the knee. They would go down tapered to the knee
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then out and out. She did all that. She would take my blouses and she made dots in the front and dots in the back, sewed up the waist because my waist is like that. And
Right.
so the clothes would be straight. So she would fix all that. I mean, she took care of my clothes.
He took care of you. Well, you were such a
She actually
fashion.
helped me create that style.
You were such a fashion icon. Let me put these pictures up. I mean, you really. Just,
How'd you
you
get that picture?
I've been digging today, Bernadette.
What? Dang.
Yes.
I
I
didn't know
mean,
I put that one out there years ago.
I tell you, giving us Diana Ross from Mahogany with all of these different, with
Well,
all
I
of these
tell you,
different.
they said I was the fashion girl. I used to put together some stuff, but it really wasn't me. It was really Adela putting that together.
Putting it all together. So, do you remember when Janet Jackson arrived to the set to
Do
play
I? Do
Penny?
I?
Tell us about it.
She is such a sweetie. To be so young and so disciplined, it was amazing to watch her.
Yeah.
I used to watch him like, how's a little girl like that get it all together? I mean, she was so sweet and so disciplined. Well, her mother is a baby doll. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Kathy Jackson is. I love her. She's such a sweet woman. And so, she had sweet kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, all of them were beautiful. And so Janet would come to the set. There was a limousine that brought her to the set every day.
Okay.
She had a bodyguard there. He would drive her and he would be there all day. Miss Jackson came once or twice. She would tell Adele all the time that Michael Jackson on tape night, she says, Michael's going to be here, but he was disguised, so nobody knew who he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He would come in, see the show, and leave.
And leave.
Mhm. Yeah.
Interesting.
But
And you
but
and
she
Janet have stayed in touch over the years, and I know you
yeah.
have a special bond and relationship with her.
Yes. She
Yeah.
reminds me of my little sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, she reminds me of my little sister, and she's a sweet, adorable woman still.
Still, yeah.
All life, it hasn't changed her. She's a beautiful woman.
And so you got to know all of the Jacksons, didn't you?
I know them all.
Yeah.
Yes, I know them all. You
Wow.
know, Jermaine and Jackie. Look at me and Jackie.
I see. That is something
Ah, those are
else.
so much fun. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
and they're all beautiful people. I tell you.
oh, I'm sure. I am
Yeah, they
sure.
are.
Well, let's talk about these two for a quick second. Uh, Jimmy, Jimmy and
I
Ralph.
like that picture. I don't have one of those.
You don't have that?
No. I
I
think you're gonna have to send me a copy of that
I'll
one.
send it to you. I'll
Okay.
send it to you. I love it. And and so Jimmy and Ralph, aka JJ, and Michael were your brothers on the show. How was you all's relationship? You got
It
along
was.
well?
Oh yes. You know, it was just like a real family. I
Okay.
don't know what happened, but it was like we blended like a real family. I
Yeah.
mean, when we hit that stage, we were brothers, brother and sister. We were.
Right. Right.
She was my mom. He
Yes.
was my dad. That was my aunt. You know, it
Yeah.
was just that kind of feeling. And we
Yeah.
stayed friends throughout the years. We still are close. They call me on my birthday. I call them on their birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stay close.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. That is great. Well, Good Times has been imitated so much on many shows. Let me see if I can put this up. This is the Saturday Night Live uh, version, uh, which I thought was just hilarious. Just
It is. It
it,
was.
it is. And let me see. Let me scroll down here a
I think that's
second.
Minnie Riperton's daughter, right?
That is Minnie
Uh,
Riperton's
I
daughter.
love her. She is funny.
I
That
do
girl can
too.
be all kind of characters.
Oh, she's good. And then Blackish did um a spinoff of Good Times. Were you able to catch that one as well?
I certainly did.
Yeah,
It was good.
it
They
was
did a
good.
good job.
It was good, I tell you. And
Yeah, that's
then
an honor to me. That's an honor to us that people do that. You know what I mean? It's just because it shows honor to me.
and very much so, because just of the iconic nature. And then last year, I believe, it was announced that they were going to do a reboot of Good Times, and these were the folks that were to play the various characters, Viola, and Tiffany,
Hmm.
and then Corinne Fox was to not was to, but did play you. Let me put these two up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to really pray over that, Bernadette. I said, oh,
She did a good
uh,
job, though. She
I mean,
did
I
a
know
good
she's a sweet
job.
girl,
She's
but
a beautiful girl.
I know she is.
Very
I know
nice.
she is,
Yeah.
and
I know what you're saying, right?
you know what I'm saying.
Well, it was fun anyway. And, to meet them, we went on a set and Janae
I
was with us.
I saw.
And
I got a picture of
it
that.
was very nice. And they treated us so beautifully. And Tiffany Haddish, she was special. She embraced Walona so beautifully
That's
and embraced all of us actually. And they all absolutely did. You know,
as they
they
should
all
have. Yeah.
they did. They gave us the honor and the respect, and I thank them for that. Because they didn't really have to, but they did, and I really really respect them for that.
Well, they had to do it. I'm glad they did it, and it was a joy and a delight to see you all come out after the show. And but Bernadette, tell everybody now, cause everybody
I
think
know
you
you're gonna get to that door. I know you're gonna get
everybody.
to that door.
I said, wait a
It
minute,
was so funny because we were talking to Jimmy. I was talking to Jimmy like 2 nights ago, right?
right?
And he said, yeah, my age and everybody called me about the door. He's cracking up, right? He's cracking up. They said, and then it was on Wendy Williams' show. She said, "Oh, I know they had problems. I know they had problems."
Wendy is
Miss
so
Wendy,
messy.
she didn't have no problem.
Wait, wait a minute. Wendy is so messy. You know she was gonna stir.
That's her job. We understand, Wendy. No problem, Miss Wendy. So she, but I did slam that door on him. And you know what's so funny?
What?
I didn't realize I slammed the door until my sister called me and said, "Why slam that door on him for you? Why slam the door?" I said, "Slam what door?" Until I saw it, I swear. And then Jimmy said, "Yeah, they said no." He told his agent, "No." Just before she walked out, they told her, "Close the door."
Wow.
So
We,
that's what it was.
you know, we,
The way I guess I closed the door.
we
I didn't mean to close it
really
like
we
that.
just thought that it was
That was
Thelma
a
and
Thelma close.
we thought it was Thelma and JJ having a moment.
I
You know.
know. It looked that way.
Yeah,
It looked that way. Yeah.
yeah,
I guess if we did a show today, we would be the same way. I
yeah.
probably would close the door on him. He probably would be trying to get.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
So
But
you know,
we're really close. We're really
yeah.
close.
So good times. You all did 6 seasons of good
Yeah.
times. And I'm trying to remember, was it closure to the show? Help me
Yeah,
remember
it was.
how did the show close,
Well, the
Bernadette?
show ended like this. We all got out of ghetto. He
Finally,
got my husband got the NFL job,
that's right.
right? And Walona got a promotion, and we all were gonna move to the east side, west side, and one of those big streets. I forgot what street it was. And then I was pregnant in the show. That was my last show, and I
Mhm.
said to my mom, "You gotta come live with us. I can't handle this." So that was the last show.
And that's how it. Yeah, I tell you. Well,
That's how it ended.
and
That
now
show should have gone on for another 5 years. It should
easily,
have.
easily. Well, why did it end, Bernadette?
I think Norman was tired of it.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, he was tired. Because he had gone through a lot, I guess, with the show, the transitions of everything, and you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what hurt him or what happened, but
Right.
he just shut it down.
Just shut it down. Well, I mean, every time, years afterwards, you all would appear together at different events and TV land, award shows,
I
and
love that picture.
that's a great picture
I
of
love
you
that
all.
picture.
I think here's another one of you, and I think,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's when we got an award, and I want to say this sounds very strange, but I'm gonna say this.
What?
My mother had looked at a television. This is just before she got Alzheimer's. She hadn't had it yet. She was
Okay.
just getting. She hadn't had Alzheimer's by this time, so she was just. It was just probably on the onset, but we didn't notice anything. I remember my mother was looking at TV Land, and they were giving out awards or doing something like that. And she said, "Why don't they give you an award? Why don't they give your show an award?" I said, "I don't know, Mom." My mother called them up and said, "I think you should give Good Times an award." It
Wow.
was my mother who did it.
No, she didn't.
And do you know they called us that same year and told us we were going to get an award? My mother was a go-getter, honey, and she saw it and she went after it and she
That's
told us
what
what
I'm
she thought.
talking about, Mama. That's
She
right.
did it.
That's
My
right.
mother did that.
So Good Times was it overlooked in the Emmys? Did anybody from the show get an Emmy nomination?
Esther got one, I think, and I know that Walona did get an Emmy, but not for.
Okay.
I don't think it was for Good Times.
Yeah.
So Good Times was a bit overlooked over the years, and
Yeah.
I think we did not get our due respect that we should have gotten over the years. I do
Yeah.
feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel that the other shows were pushed ahead of us, and for whatever reason. I do believe the fact that the show was the first family
Mm-hmm.
show that broke ground.
That's right.
I believe that it should have gotten a lot more attention and a lot more awards than it did.
You got a lot of folks who agree with you. I'm sitting here, Bernadette,
That's right.
going through all of the messages. It's so many I can't even put them up. But there was
I
a
love
lot.
it. Thank you
There was
so
a
much,
lot of
everyone.
absolutely, and thank you all for posting. She has not aged. Truly, the adage "black
Thank
don't
you.
crack." My favorite episode was when they were raising money for the daycare. Thelma dancing to New York City Girl.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, I'm a
yeah.
New York City gal.
My brother James Dunbar said my favorite was whichever one Thelma was in. Don't judge me. I had a huge crush.
Who is that? Who was
Pastor
saying
Dunbar,
that?
calm down, brother.
Thank you,
Calm
brother. I
down, my friend.
appreciate you.
Gwyneth says, I know every episode by heart, not sure which one. Someone else said it was a three-way tie between Gertie's Meatloaf. That was a good one. Thelma
That
and
really was.
yeah, Thelma and
That
Keith's
was.
wedding and the poison roast. I don't remember the poison roast, but I remember Gertie Gertie's
Because
Meatloaf.
that
'Cause
was a German Shepherd.
that's right, and they thought it was made out of dog food. Oh my goodness. Someone else said that I can't remember the name of the show, but I used it in my classroom to teach against bullying. The younger brother stood up to a bully and they became a
Friend.
friend. Someone said
Yeah.
Bernadette's daughter looks just like she did when she was a teenager. That is so true.
The younger
Uh,
one.
yeah, yeah. These comments are just wonderful, and I appreciate all of you all. Many of them saying they met you at various book signings. You were here at the World Congress Center a few years ago, and they got a chance to meet you. So I'm so grateful for you all.
And I spoke at the Library of Congress twice.
Oh wow. Well, you now you make your rounds. Now I know that for a and I pulled off a big coup some years ago when I brought Bernadette, Ralph, and Jimmy all the way to
Yeah, that
Augusta,
was
Georgia.
fun. We enjoyed that,
We had a
Skip.
we had a just had a ball. It was a great
Yes, we
time.
did.
So now after good times is over, what is life like for America's favorite sweetheart? What is going on now with you?
I'm just kind of like living life and traveling. And it's so funny because I had just come back from Italy in the end of January. Was it
Okay.
the end of January? Yeah. Yeah, I was there for 10 days. So I came back from Italy end of January, and that's when that thing hit. I got out of there just in time.
Wow.
It
You
was
have been to Italy.
amazing.
Wow.
I had been to Italy, and lucky thing nothing was there because I didn't get anything. But I had been to Italy, and so I left in January, the end of January, and came back. And I'm like, hearing like 3 weeks later they shutting down Italy. I'm like, what?
I know.
Well, my God, I'm
Isn't
glad
that
I
crazy?
saw Italy before.
I, I was in New York on my way to see A Soldier Story with David Allen Greer and Blair Underwood. And
Oh,
Ma-
that's right. I wanted to see that.
Mario Cuomo shut the city down on that Thursday while I was there. And
Right.
it just blew my mind because I had tickets for that. And I got out of there. As they say, you get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
something was going on and I
I
needed
mean,
to go on and get back home. But folks, a
yeah.
lot of folks know, some may not know that you are an author. You've written several books. This is a
Yes.
beautiful book that you
Thank
wrote
you.
about, tell us about the last night and this book and what inspired you to write it, Bernadette.
Okay. Well, I have written three books, and the first book was about relationships. The second book was about finances. And within those two books and doing my tour with those books, I found out that my mom had Alzheimer's. And
Alzheimer's.
I brought her with me, to live with me in California. And so while we were on tour, people I used to bring my mother to every one of my signings. She was always with me.
Always there.
And she would always sit to my right here, right behind me. And
Okay.
everybody would ask her, so how did you get her to good times? And what does it feel like to be Thelma's mom? And this, that. And she would answer, she was doing pretty good. She had just the beginning of Alzheimer's, but she was doing good. And so I said to her, Mom, wouldn't it be so nice if you had your own book and we were sitting side by side and we were selling our own books together? And she said that would be such a beautiful idea. So I said it would be like a white book with some blue in it, and it would be this and
Wow.
that and your life story. And I mean, we couldn't even get down to write the first sentence of that book because Alzheimer's had another plan.
My goodness.
It was not letting me concentrate on writing a line, and mommy couldn't do it. And it was just, let's stay alive, mama. Let's just stay
That's it.
alive. I had to fight to keep her alive. So that went on for a few years. And then mommy, at the last stages of Alzheimer's. And the night of her, transition,
Yeah.
I said to her, I said, it's not over, mama. I'm going to get that book out for you. And the same night that she passed, I went home and I went on the internet and I was pulling up prayers, because I wanted to put a prayer in her book. And the first thing that came up was the um not the Lord's Prayer. It was the other one. Um Forgive me right now. I'm just
That's okay. That's okay. But it was a
but
special prayer that came up for you.
yes, and I wrote it, and I said, this is the first one that's going to be in the book. And then I wrote a prayer myself, and I wrote a prayer about healing,
Okay.
and I asked God to let me be a vessel to write this book, so that it can heal people that'll touch it and read it.
Yeah. Well, you were quite.
And that's what I did, and the whole time I could feel my mom's spirit there. I could feel her wanting me to do this. It took a long time. It took I couldn't get through it so easily, but I had a lot of research to do about the book, and I finally did it, and I knew I had to get this book out, and this book is going to heal so many people
Yeah.
because it's a story about, it's real. It's not like it doesn't touch a certain person. It could touch anyone,
Anyone,
and it
right?
touched us. And I wanted the people to know what it was like for me as a caregiver and a daughter to have to go through this, and the
Yeah.
pains that it was. I could read books before this book. I couldn't find anything what I was looking for, but I could read the facts on Alzheimer's. I could
Okay.
read this on Alzheimer's. I could read that on Alzheimer's. But what I could not really read was the pain in my heart. I could not find a book that would talk to the pain.
Wow.
I
And
said,
so
well, if you can't find it, you got to write it.
you got to write about it. Yeah. That had to be a tough process for you.
The prayer that I found was Serenity Prayer.
Oh yeah. That's a
And
good one.
I've only known the Serenity Prayer, the first four lines.
Okay.
But this night, the whole prayer came up.
Wow.
And I had never read that before. And if you read the Serenity Prayer, the whole prayer, it is absolutely a beautiful prayer.
And it ministered to your heart.
Yes,
And
it did.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it did.
So
Yes, it did.
you went on a tour, and you kind of became like an ambassador,
Yes,
to the dementia and Alzheimer's cause.
yes,
I brought you to my
yes.
church in Augusta Trinity, and so that had to help you through the process too.
It did. It
Yeah,
really helped me with the healing because I felt that I was helping people and my mother's life wasn't in vain. And I just felt that even being an actress, stepping out on something like this is hard for
yeah.
people because they would say, an actress must have memory. That's their career.
That's
All
you
the
right.
lines.
You're
So I
right.
said, I do not care what they say. I've got to talk about this to heal me, to satisfy my mother, and to help other people.
Yeah,
And it's so many people bought that book for me because I they said, "Oh, were you a caregiver?" I said, "Yes." They had to get the book. They said so many people's parents and grandparents are going through this thing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
African Americans get it twice as much and females more.
and more. Wow.
Yeah, but we lead in so many different
As we
diseases.
found out with COVID-19, that
Yes.
more African Americans were, dying, and
And I feel that that's not really our fault,
yeah.
like they want to say it is, but it isn't. And my little theory, I have a little theory,
Okay, what is
and
it?
my little theory is that they say that the Jamaicans, the West Indians, the all other African people, black people, don't get it as much as American blacks.
Right,
And
right.
I said, I feel that everybody else in this country comes here with their culture, with
Yeah.
their healing herbs and their foods that they cook with their this
Sure.
and their that to
Yeah,
heal them. They bring their healings with them.
that's right.
American blacks were slaves. We didn't bring anything.
That's right.
We got the scraps to eat.
That's right. Yeah.
So we ate what we could eat.
The pork, the
So
fat.
that weakened us.
That's right.
We
Yeah.
didn't have herbs and this and that to keep, family herbs that kept us strong. No. What we had to do was stay alive and
Yes.
eat what we had to eat. So it
Yeah.
wasn't about eating and herbs. It was about I might be killed today.
Right.
You
Right.
know, he
Right.
might lynch me tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever the pain was at that time. So I'm saying when we look at American black people, we may be weaker in that area. And that's something that we all must understand. I
Mhm.
believe that's the reason why. Because generationally we cook the soul food, we cook the this, but that's what we know.
Yeah.
And it may not be healthy for us, but
Yeah.
we knew nothing else
That's right. I
and we
agree with
got used to that food.
yeah.
So therefore we ate like that. And
Yeah.
even now we're getting better. We're starting to eat much better,
Right.
and we're starting to understand that we don't have the healing herbs in our families and stuff like that to do these things with. So we're going to start learning that now. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes. I tell
that's why I
you.
feel that happened to us. That's when I fear it.
Well, it's a good theory, and you've done well. I mean, health wise, I mean, people look at you and marvel. That's what they're saying in
Thank
the
you.
comments, and you've taken really good care of yourself. But listen, I, I, I was doing a little digging today. I had no idea you recorded a record.
I certainly did.
No,
I'm proud of my little record.
how did I miss that? But look at
I
you on
don't
the
know how you missed that.
look at you on this cover though, lover.
My little singing wasn't too bad now.
I mean, I did not know that. So I
Yes,
learned
I
something.
had that record out. Lover. Yes, I did. And
Wow.
it was fun recording that. It really was.
You
I
you've done,
enjoyed it.
you've done a lot of stage work too.
Oh, I did
All over the
all the
place.
gospel shows. I think
Yeah.
I did all every gospel show that came out from the beginning.
Yes, I mean you have done a many of them throughout your wonderful career. You stay busy, um, and I'm telling you, everybody loves you. I mean, I've seen.
Thank you.
I remember going to Essence Festival a number of times, and folks would just be in line to get a picture with Thelma and to. But I still have my sign.
Oh my God, you have the poster.
I got the poster all signed by you and
Oh, that's
Jimmy
nice.
and Ralph. But I want to put up a few pictures and then we'll do one or two little clothing things and I'm gonna let you go. But I so appreciate your
Oh,
time.
and I appreciate the interview. It was so much fun.
Oh, it was. First of all, these are her beautiful daughters. Aren't they gorgeous?
Thank you.
And I don't know
That's
how long
Dior on the right, and the little small one is Brittany Rose.
the little one,
That's
Brittany
Dior
Rose.
Rebel and Brittany Rose.
Oh wow, so beautiful, so
Thank you.
beautiful. Let me see. Got a couple of other little shots that I want to put up as we get ready to say farewell. Now look at you and Michael Jordan here.
Yeah, yeah, and he shot a good hole. He said, "Stay right here. You're my good luck charm."
Were you able to catch the ESPN documentary on the Last Dance? Have you seen that yet?
No.
You got to check it out. It's about Michael's
Okay.
last few seasons with the Chicago Bull. You and
Okay. Right.
How's Ralph doing? Have you talked to him lately?
Yes, I did. I talked to him about a month ago.
Okay, he's doing fine.
Oh, he's doing fine. You know that man he's
Is he still
brilliant. You
taking
know
care
he
of
is.
is his mother still living? Is he still taking
He's
care of his
still
mother?
living. He's taking care of her. And he said to me the other day, he said, I want to thank you, Bernadette, because by watching you take care of your mother, you taught me how I should take care of mine.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I'm so glad to hear that. And you and Mr. Chris Rock all hugged up.
You know, he's a lovely guy. He
Yeah,
is. He's a
yeah,
very nice guy. He received me very well.
yes,
Very
indeed.
nice man.
You and L, look at you here, and LL Cool J.
I remember that picture. Mr. LL, he's so cool. He wouldn't talk, he was like, he was Mr. Sharp, Mr. Cool,
Hmm.
but I got my little picture with him.
Yeah. Now this is one of my favorites. You and Mary J
A
and
couple of
Kate
years at Essence.
that was at the
Yeah.
Essence Festival.
Yes. Mary
Yeah.
J. When I first met her, I met her before this.
Okay.
And at Essence before. And it
Okay.
was such a beautiful reception. She asked me to come back to see her, and I went back, and I don't think she thought I was really going to come back. I don't know, but when I went, I was in the room waiting for her to come out of her dressing room, and I was sitting in the living room thing, and she looked at me, and she had tears in her eyes.
Oh, she did.
I never forget that.
That's sweet. Well, every you listen. You were everybody's sweetheart. I mean, I don't say that just to say
Yeah,
it, but the impact that the
yeah.
show had, that we saw a mama and a daddy and three
Hmm.
children just trying to do right, a God fearing mother, a hard working father, a
Yeah,
beautiful sister and her two brothers. I mean, that show just helped us through during the 1970s, that we could see
right,
that
right. I'm
wonderful just
like the big sister. I'm like the big
you
sister, and
were it,
I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all these young women and men that are doing good today. I'm proud of
absolutely,
them.
absolutely. You and Mr.
Look
Eddie
at Eddie
Murphy
Murphy.
here with his dog shades on. Now
Yeah, that Eddie. Uh-huh.
I'm sure I had this at one time or another.
Well, I still have the original poster of
I'm
that.
sure you do. That must
Yeah,
have been something else. You were on the Love Boat. You remember
the
this?
Love Boat. Yes,
Yes, with
yes,
Ted Lang and
yeah.
look at
He was a nice guy
I
too,
bet
and I
I
know Ernie too.
look at Ernie. Yes, indeed. I tell you. Oh,
Yeah,
and
I played a ditz in that one. I
you
played a
played?
real ditz.
Did you?
Oh God, she that was total airhead all the way.
But I'm sure you played it well. I mean, you're a great actress, Bernadette. Let me put this last one up of Kevin and your daughter, and just a beautiful picture, beautiful
Thank
family picture.
you. We were at
Yeah.
the Black Theater Awards then.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So, but what's next for you as we prepare to close? What have you been doing anything during this
Well,
time?
yeah. Well, my I'm probably going to do some kind of. My daughter wants to do a podcast. I don't know anything about that. So she wants to do a relationship thing with me because she has so much to say. My daughters have a lot to say about relationships. I'm like, where'd you get that from? So we're gonna battle it out, baby. My opinion, yours, and yours. All right.
Yeah, these kids be trying to become the mamas and the daddies. You
Don't
know.
they?
Yes,
Hmm. Then they
indeed.
coming back around and I ask you a question. Well, how did you do it?
Yeah,
Oh, now
I
you want to know.
I love it. I absolutely love him. My cousin Naja said the show, even in rerun, still helps us with the 20s, with the decade and the time that we're
It's the
living in.
same kind of thing that we're going through. It's the
Yes,
same thing, and that's what is. That's why they said the prejudice is the same as it was in the 70s as
yeah,
it is in
yes,
2020.
yeah.
And
I tell you.
that's the problem that we have to fix because it will remain this way
right.
if we do not vote
Yeah,
and we do not have a voice
that's right.
and we do not say what we don't want,
That's right.
you got to be strong on it,
You
because
do.
otherwise, if you're not, it's like, okay, good, well, they're not saying anything, let's forget about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, these are some strange times we're living in, but with God's help, we'll get through it.
And
And,
we are getting God's help.
and that's right.
We are really getting God's help. God is
That's
doing his
right.
thing.
That's right. And
He
I
is
just
doing his thing.
let me tell you what I tell you, and putting good people in your life, like God placed you in my life. I'm so grateful for your
And he
friendship.
placed you in mine.
Well, I appreciate, and you know how you
And you
just
have two great kids,
I
wonderful children.
thank you, honey. And one is
Yes,
your
you do.
godson, uh,
Yes,
Jadari.
yes.
I
My
tried.
little
I
Capricorn
said,
brother.
my look, your little Capricorn baby, Jadari. Come here for a second, quickly. I told him to comb his hair before he came because his God.
That's okay. The kids don't care anymore. They look cute with hair comb,
Say
no
hello.
hair comb. They just got their thing going like that.
Say hello to your godmother. Come on.
Hi, baby. Come here. Let me see you.
Say-
Hey. He said, hey. There you go. Look how handsome you've gotten. Wait a minute.
so
Oh my God. Looks good.
here, come here. She's talking to you. Yes, it is.
You know I'm proud of you. You know that, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. You're welcome. You can
Well,
call me sometimes. It's okay.
he still gets giddy with you. You know that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's all right.
he still
That's
gets
all
giddy
right.
with
He's
you.
doing very well. I can
I'm
see he
proud
is.
of him. He's on his way to the
I
10th
am.
grade, and praise the
Yes.
Lord, hallelujah. And
That's right, baby.
my daughter just finished her first year in college, so
Oh, wonderful.
I just give God thanks, for
Yeah.
my kids, and thank you for being such a good friend and such an inspiration to so many
Thank you.
people. So much love
Thank
for
you.
you, and you could have been doing a whole lot of other things tonight, but you decided to spend a little time with me tonight, and for that
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ever
And I
grateful.
enjoyed it. I really, really did.
Thank you,
I
thank
really enjoyed it and visiting with my fans on Facebook and
you.
all that.
Yes.
I love you guys, and you know
We
I
love
do.
you too. We love you too. And
Yes,
thank you. And I appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. Tomorrow is an election day in many
yes,
states.
baby. Vote, vote, vote.
That's right. You got to get out and you got to vote as if your life depends on it. And I
Because
want
it does
to, it
depend on it.
it does. Practicing your blood bought right. Voting 2020 tomorrow. And as you know, I pastor the West Mitchell CME Church in Atlanta, and we say
Yeah.
no vote, no voice. And so we want you to vote and get out on Wednesday. I am so delighted that my special nightcap guest will be our good friend, the wonderful.
Oh, my daughter loves his wife. My daughter follows his wife. She's a judge.
Yes, Judge Faith. Yes.
Yes,
So
and I'm
Kenny
so
Lattimore,
happy for them. They are a
I
perfect
am
little
too.
couple.
I am too. I saw the
God bless them.
I saw the pictures and I said, now where I know my invitation got lost in the mail somewhere, but it was a beautiful, beautiful New Orleans style wedding, and I'm
Oh, it
happy,
was beautiful. I saw the pictures too. It was
so happy
beautiful.
for Kenny, and he'll be with us
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night at 10 o'clock p.m. Brothers and sisters, I've spent this time with the wonderful Bernadette Stanis, who has blessed us, and we pray God's blessings over her life and her family's life. And we just thank God for what she has meant to us in this lifetime that we've lived in our culture and our vernacular. And you all stay safe and
Yes.
stay protected. And God bless all of those who are out in the streets protesting and marching
And we
and
just cover them to
co-
be blessed
to be blessed.
and to be
Cover them.
healthy.
That's
But they
right.
are doing a wonderful
A
job.
good work.
I am so happy and thankful for them.
An absolute good work. And we know they laid to rest George Floyd tomorrow,
Yes.
but the struggle still continues. Uh,
Yes.
and we want everybody to know to shout from the corner to the rooftop that Black lives
Ooh,
still matter.
I love that.
I tell you, that mayor
Black
knows she did
Lives. Look at that street. It's
that.
beautiful.
Beautiful. That mayor knows she did that thing when
Yes,
she
she
did
did.
that.
Yes,
Yes,
she did. I give a lot of for that one.
I do too. I really do.
Thank you,
Well,
Mayor.
I tell you, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Bernadette. And this concludes our evening nightcap. And I look forward to seeing you all real soon. And you all take care. God bless.
Okay.
And we are signing out with the lovely Bernadette Stanis. Have a wonderful evening and God bless. Love
Love
you,
you
Bernadette.
guys.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
God bless you too
Or
now.
love you too, Skip.
Thank you,
All
dear.
right, honey.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.